because I understand that you have retired, you're 50-0, you walked away from the game, you made a lot of money, but you made more money than any boxer in history. But I'll be damned if you're gonna be on this show and I ain't gonna ask you, are you thinking about coming back, Floyd Money Mayweather, with the Terrence Crawford, with a Manny Pacquiao?
Great career, tremendous career, an unbelievable career. But I mean, once again, we can't judge a guy. A guy is not great because he won one fight. To become a legendary great fighter, you must continue to go out there and beat good fighters and beat great fighters.
Okay, so nobody's supposed to be talking about this right now, but here we are because allegedly the boxing world just experienced what fans online are calling the most dangerous conversation in combat sports history. And it started innocently enough with one simple question: should Floyd Mayweather Jr. come back? Except that question cracked open something nobody was ready for.
I beat the most world champions.
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that
The greatest of all time.
Wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me?
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah.
Because the moment Floyd opened his mouth to respond, reports suggest the entire sport shifted on its axis. And I need you to stay with me because this story has at least 4 plot twists that are going to completely break your brain.
I don't really know. Crawford is kind of like, has the same mentality I got. Like he's hungry and he's gonna come after you. Mayweather's very tricky, but at the same time, Crawford will go right-handed and left-handed. So it would be a big problem for Mayweather. And if Mayweather gets hit with Crawford, like I hit him and rocked, it might not end well for Mayweather. They might be over it. But Mayweather could outbox Crawford, I think, because Crawford has the mindset that I'm trying to knock you out. And Mayweather knows how to play to that I'm trying to knock you out type of thing. Because he's used to people coming at him trying to hit him hard all the time. The only person that I see that I can kind of like equate to, and this I think Crawford would have the edge, is Castillo. When Castillo fought Mayweather the first time. And fights like that, Mayweather has problems with Crawford. Because Crawford hits hard, Crawford's very strong like I am.
Starting with the fact that Floyd didn't just say he could beat Terrence Crawford. Allegedly, he implied something so much bigger, something that online speculation says has Crawford's entire camp running damage control as we speak.
Great defensive fighters, one of the great counterpunchers, one of the great boxers, one of the great fighters. I know he didn't get on his resume what was on the resume of some of these guys, but you can only beat the guys in your era. You can. I know he beat a couple really good guys in his era, and they were a little late. It was a little like Pacquiao was one of them. It was late in their careers. It wasn't when they were in the prime of their careers. I acknowledge that. I do. I acknowledge all of that. But he's still great. He's still great, and he's number 10. He starts this great list. And that's Floyd Money Mayweather, 49-0. Again, I don't even know what record to give you.
50-0. They count.
All right. So 50-0. I don't want to take nothing away from Floyd. You can't take nothing away from him. He's just great. Great dude.
But before we get there, let me give you the context, because without the context, you will not believe what comes next. Floyd Mayweather, 50-0 legendary, untouchable. The man who turned boxing into a business empire, reportedly worth hundreds of millions of dollars.
Start making comparisons with your legacy to Floyd Mayweather. How do you feel you compare with Floyd with the resume you have now?
Listen, Floyd was the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. It ain't no need to compare me to Floyd or Floyd to me.
You talk the talk and you sure walk the walk. Your confidence and aura is on another level. Could we see a run as a light heavyweight?
Nah, we ain't going up that much.
Sat down and began dismantling his own legacy in real time without even realizing it. And fans are absolutely losing their minds online, because here's what nobody is saying out loud.
Of course you got to give it to Floyd. Floyd at that time, Ben, what's up? Floyd at that time versus Canelo. was in total confidence. His skill set, his IQ, you know what I'm saying? Everything he do, he was just a complete fighter that night. But I feel like was up against a lot because he was fighting a guy that we knew something about, but we ain't know too much about. People don't understand how much a fighter could be thrown off by what he don't know. And the reason it throws you off is because you're actually learning about the fighter while you in there. That's what Bud went up against that night. That's why he didn't look so great. To me, I could be wrong, but he didn't look so great to me because he was learning a lot about Madrimov while he was in there with Madrimov, opposed to Floyd Mayweather fighting Canelo, and we already know what this is. You know what I'm saying? And it's totally different styles, but I still got to give it to Mayweather. His confidence, his endurance, I mean, his speed, his ring generalship. You know what I mean? It's just a lot that he brought to the
When Floyd started listing his accomplishments, the wins over Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo Alvarez, the PPV records, the world titles, the defensive masterclass that made an entire generation of fighters look like they were swinging at smoke. What he was actually doing, allegedly, was building the case for why he should never have to fight again. And yet here he is, reportedly entertaining comeback conversations, which brings us to our first twist.
You be sizing niggas up, bro. Keep it a stack. Did you in your head size up Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever, keep it real, boy. Keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fighting.
Yeah.
I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
But you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll be this. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ainpe never been that type.
Because breaking online sources are now suggesting that the real reason Floyd keeps flirting with a return isn't about legacy at all. It's allegedly about something far more strategic, something involving global brand expansion, new markets, and a business move so calculated it would make Wall Street nervous. But
to do that, I had to take a hold of my own career and become my own boss. And when I was able to do that, because I talked about this on numerous different platforms, you know, how I bought myself out my contract for $750,000, and then I made $750 million in 3 fights. So I'm a little different from the rest of the fighters, you know. The less you get hit, the longer you last. So I didn't want to take too much punishment inside that square circle. If you see a lot of fighters, they can barely walk, they can barely talk, but still, you know, Floyd Mayweather has made smart moves, surrounded himself with a smart team, and I'm still making hundreds of millions.
Yeah. Hold on, because Crawford just walked into the frame and everything changed. Terrence Crawford, undisputed, switch-hitting, pressure-applying, era-defining Terrence Crawford, reportedly told anyone who would listen that he would beat prime Floyd Mayweather. And the moment those words hit the internet, the boxing community reportedly split directly down the middle like someone took a cleaver to it. Because on one side you have Shane Mosley, a man who personally felt Floyd's defensive genius.
You grow as you watch, you see certain things, you grow. And I truly, I wasn't where I wanted to be as far as with my career. I really wanted to be everywhere. I wanted the Mayweather brand to be all around the world, not just in the US or not just in a certain city. I wanted to be worldwide. You know, a lot of athletes, their careers are short. My career is long, and my career wasn't just inside that square circle. My real estate portfolio is unreal. Even with these gyms, we're going to constantly build, put people in position to be entrepreneurs. Yeah. And we want people to come work out. And I talked about this with Robert Smith the other day. You know, when I text Robert and we talk, I said, you know, Robert, we both getting a lot of money. I don't have the money that you have. Of course, I'd have made over $1 billion, but health is out.
Stepping forward and saying Crawford could trouble Mayweather the same way Jose Luis Castillo did in their first fight. And if you know boxing, you know that Castillo comparison is essentially Shane saying Crawford might be the one person who could make Floyd look human, which is either the most honest analysis in years or allegedly the most controversial take of the decade, depending on who you ask, and this is where it gets worse. Crawford's own trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, apparently went further.
Most skilled fighters, then.
Bud is definitely one of them, for sure. Tyke Shakur, Devin, Boots.
My favorite.
It's a lot of them, and they skillful in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that, like, I can bet the house on, but because me and him, we so much alike in our mentality. Like, soon as I see this dude, he come in the room, or I come in the room, we start arguing. About basketball, wrestling, anything. But like, man, you can't, man, you looking small. What you mean I'm looking small? You looking small. You gotta really hurt that dude to turn him away and to try to stop him from doing what he want to do. So skillful, yeah. But this and this, it's different, man. There's not a lot of guys like that out there currently. There's a lot of guys that talk. But until you get in that real fire, I'm not saying a guy, you fighting a guy you should beat. I'm saying a guy that it's a 50-50 matchup. We don't really know what you have. You don't even really know.
Reportedly claiming Bud surpasses Floyd entirely because of switch-hitting versatility and undisputed titles across multiple divisions. And the internet did not handle that calmly, but wait. Because here comes twist number 2, and I promise you are not ready. Andre Ward, Hall of Famer, pound-for-pound legend, arguably the most credible analytical voice in the sport, reportedly stepped forward and labeled Crawford the GOAT of this generation. And when Andre Ward says something like that, you cannot simply scroll past it because this is a man who understands elite competition at a cellular level, and suddenly what seemed like harmless generational debate reportedly transformed into what fans online are now calling a full-scale legit
performance, man. He's been doing this throughout the course of his career. The stakes were a lot different in this fight, a lot more danger. He had to fight that kind of fight in order to beat Canelo Alvarez tonight, and he did that at 37, but getting ready to be 38 years old. And he proved, like Max said, that he is the GOAT of this generation. Hats off to Canelo for taking the fight. He didn't have to take it. Hats off to Turkey Al-Sheikh for putting it together. Just a great night for boxing.
Yeah. How special a fighter is someone like Terence Crawford? There was no signs of a size disadvantage there. How special?
You can see it in spots, but it wasn't significant. And I didn't think it was going to be significant. And people called me crazy, but I've been around Terence. He's strong. He's got a wrestling background, and people don't realize that he's been boiling himself down all these years.
Intimacy war. A shadow battle being fought not with gloves, but with sound bites and strategic media appearances. And Floyd, beautiful, calculated, never says anything by accident. Floyd responded not with anger, but with something far more unsettling. He responded with a smile and a business lesson, reportedly explaining how buying himself out of a contract once led to hundreds of millions in earnings and total creative control, which on the surface sounds like a motivational speech. But online speculation suggests it was actually a coded message.
Before the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists. You know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Allegedly a reminder that Floyd has always been playing a different game entirely, one where the real prize was never a belt. Breaking update reports suggest that multiple boxing insiders are now questioning whether this entire public conversation between Floyd and Crawford was, and I use this word carefully, allegedly orchestrated. A carefully constructed narrative designed to generate maximum attention, ahead of what some fans are speculating could be an announcement.
Believe or do you agree with the fact that Canelo is saying Crawford is better than Mayweather from an outsider's perspective, having not fought Crawford? Who do you think's better out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually he moving weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather's really good too, though. You can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era. And Crawford,
Before you say that sounds far-fetched, let me remind you that this is Floyd Mayweather we are talking about, a man who reportedly built a promotional empire by understanding that attention is the ultimate currency. And now here's twist number 3, because Roy Jones Jr. just entered the conversation and reportedly questioned Floyd's perfect record by pointing to the Conor McGregor situation. And the moment Roy said that allegedly the room temperature dropped 10 degrees, because that critique, the one about careful matchmaking, about whether 50-0 means what it used to mean, is reportedly the one critique Floyd has never fully silenced. And the fascinating thing, the truly wild thing, is that Crawford refuses to use it.
You gotta respect anything a person does and stay undefeated that long. Yeah, I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got the 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died. If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect it? You feel me? So, I mean, I love Floyd, don't get it wrong, I'm not hating on Floyd, but come on, bro, you fight a guy that's 0-0, Conor McGregor was 0-0, and they
reportedly calling Floyd a legend, refusing to diminish the accomplishments, saying the comparisons between them are unnecessary because Floyd was the greatest of his era, and Crawford considers himself the greatest of this era, which is either the most respectful answer in boxing history or allegedly the most psychologically sophisticated power move we have ever witnessed in a pre-fight media landscape. And fans online cannot agree on which one it is. And Greg Hackett, Crawford's trainer, reportedly added that Bud might be more complete overall due to adaptability and size, but still gives Floyd the edge in experience and defensive mastery.
After the 1-2 rounds, I started getting my rhythm, but I have to say, probably one of the best fighters I've ever faced, honestly. And I've faced the likes of Canelo, and I was at boxing fighters like him. Every fight I've lost previously was when I was up on points, and obviously might have got caught with a good shot and got knocked out or whatever. But with Crawford, his timing was so on point. I mean, like, what a great fight he was, technician. And I'll always, look, I'm not a hater in any way. Look, even though the fight went the way it did, but I just think his timing was amazing, and just everything about the game plan he had for the fight. I mean, he's a brilliant fighter. You cannot take that away from him. And if he was to fight any welterweight, being Manny Pacquiao, being Errol Spence, being even Floyd Mayweather, I think Crawford would...
Which sounds like balance, but allegedly reads as a warning, like saying the student has surpassed the curriculum, even if the teacher invented the school. And Amir Khan jumped in too, reportedly suggesting Crawford's timing and reach and offensive creativity could be the specific combination of tools that gives him an advantage in a hypothetical matchup. And now the internet has officially gone supernova, because every single former champion with a microphone has a different answer, and they are all delivering those answers with the confidence of someone who has personally sparred with both men on the same afternoon. And here is where the story gets genuinely strange. Crawford reportedly denied ever fantasy plotting against Floyd, said he always respected him rather than viewing him as a rival, which is either completely sincere or allegedly the single most disarming sentence spoken in combat sports this year. Because you cannot be angry at someone who refuses to be your enemy. And Floyd, reportedly, has noticed. Which brings us to the business layer of this story that everyone keeps dancing around Floyd's global gym expansion, his real estate portfolio, his brand licensing, his reported emphasis on longevity and smart financial decisions as the true measure of success outside the ring. Allegedly, this isn't retirement contentment. Online speculation suggests this is infrastructure. This is reportedly the foundation of something much larger. A sports entertainment ecosystem that may or may not require one final mega fight to fully activate. And the names being whispered are Terence Crawford and Manny Pacquiao. And the fact that both names are on the table simultaneously is allegedly not a coincidence. And now here's the final twist, the one that reportedly reframes this entire situation from the beginning. What if Floyd Mayweather never actually left? What if everything we have watched over the last several years, the exhibitions, the business ventures, the carefully placed media appearances, the GOAT debates he never fully shut down? was allegedly one continuous calculated campaign to maintain relevance until the market reached peak demand? And what if Crawford's rise to undisputed status was the specific market condition Floyd was reportedly waiting for? Because now a Mayweather versus Crawford fight would not just be a boxing match, it would allegedly be the single most commercially powerful combat sports event in a decade. A collision between the greatest defensive genius in history and reportedly the most complete offensive weapon currently alive. And the question that nobody can answer, the question that is reportedly tearing the boxing internet apart at this very moment. Is this if Floyd Mayweather came back tomorrow and signed the contract? Would you believe it was for the love of the sport? Or would you believe it was always, from the very beginning, allegedly just business? And more importantly, does it even matter? Because either way, you would watch it. And Floyd has reportedly known that the entire time. 2/2.